Mayor Wayne Messam of Miramar, Florida, is also running for president, but did not qualify to be on the debate stage tonight with the other Democratic candidates hoping to challenge President Trump in 2020. He joins us now live from Miramar, Florida, to share his perspective. Mayor, thank you so much for being with us this evening and sharing your time with us. What was your initial reaction to tonight's debate? Did anything surprise you?
Well, no, we've been out on the campaign trail for some time now, and just hearing some of the other candidates is pretty consistent with some of the messages that we've heard over the campaign.
And speaking of that, I mean, you said you've been campaigning for some months now, and when you've been out there, you've been talking specifically to gun control and talking about things like eliminating the student debt. Did you agree with the candidates' points on those issues? Was there anyone who you felt like really was aligned with what your vision is?
Well, I think my message is more unique. We could have talked. It would have been better to hear more about the student loan debt crisis in more detail, as well as gun violence. As was mentioned earlier, we highlight massive shootings, but every day there's neighborhood gun violence that takes place, and we need more solutions dealing with just the plight of what drives those type of decisions for killings across this country. And I think as candidates, we have to come specifically to deal with these everyday issues.
So what is your specific solution to the gun violence issue?
Well, the first thing in terms of everyday violence, we have to improve the conditions of everyday Americans, where they have hope, where they have opportunity for prosperity, so they're not turning to a life of crime that leads to violence. I think when we improve the daily lives of Americans, especially in the urban communities and in areas where we see a lot of gun violence, we'll see a reduction. It's more than just taking guns off the streets. It's really taking and giving them education, giving them opportunities, and giving them an environment where they can succeed.
And is there anything besides the gun control issue that you specifically feel like you could have brought to the debate stage tonight if given the opportunity?
Well, one thing, there's a couple of things. First, I would have dealt more in terms of the student loan debt crisis. Being the first candidate to make that proposal to forgive the $1.5 trillion, I would have gone into those issues and would have made note how other candidates have also followed that lead and how that will benefit individuals that graduate from college with this crippling debt. The other thing, too, is about winning. We have to attract and motivate those individuals who would vote for a Democratic nominee who feel disenchanted. In all candor, if we're not speaking to those individuals that feel like we have solutions for them, that we will improve their lives, that the system can be tilted back in their favor instead of, rich corporations and the richest of Americans. Like in my state in Florida, elections are determined by 20, 30,000 votes. And those are individuals that basically just stay home. When you have 100,000 registered voters that just stayed home because they weren't motivated. In Florida, that is going to be critical, and we have to speak to those voters.
So, Mayor, I want to ask you a question. I have to be honest, as I was walking in to do this show, someone stopped me in the hallway and they said, Morgan, at the end of the day, remember, there can only be one. And they asked me, they said, if I could speak to the candidates, is there anyone who they would support if the answer was not them? Is there anyone based on the performance you saw tonight who you think you could get behind?
Well, I think there's a lot more debates and discussions that needs to take place. I have a lot of respect for a lot of my fellow Democrats that are seeking the nomination, and any of us would be better than Donald Trump. So I think I'll have to speak that perhaps on one of the questions from the moderator after qualifying for one of the debates to answer that question.
All right. Mayor Messam from Miramar, Florida, thank you so much for joining us this evening. It's been our pleasure speaking with you. Our pleasure.
Hey, NBC News viewers, thanks for checking out our YouTube channel. Subscribe by clicking on that button down here and click on any of the videos over here to watch the latest interviews, show highlights, and digital exclusives. Thanks for watching.